Okay, so this might sound like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but believe it or not, back in 1983, the US Army actually commissioned a report on a system designed to alter consciousness and, get this, transcend physical reality. This isn't fiction. We're about to walk through the actual declassified documents that show how the CIA and the Army were seriously exploring the furthest reaches of the human mind.
And look, this isn't some fringe theory from the internet. What you're seeing right now is the real deal. It's the cover page of an official report from the U.S. Army Intelligence and Security Command, dated June 9th, 1983. The subject line, Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process. The mission was, well, it was mind-blowing. Figure out if this gateway experience thing was for real.
So you're probably asking, what was the gateway process? Let's be clear, this wasn't just some passing curiosity. It was a formal, high-level analysis of a system that promised to do nothing less than fundamentally alter human consciousness. The guy who got this wild assignment was Commander Wayne M. McDonald. His job was to figure out the validity and practicality of the gateway experience. It was a training system that aimed to create an altered state of consciousness so powerful it could supposedly let you transcend the normal limits of time and space.
Now, to even wrap his head around this, McDonald had to dive into some pretty diverse fields. I mean, look at this list. He's jumping from biofeedback and hypnosis to transcendental meditation and all the way over to quantum mechanics. He wasn't just looking at spiritual stuff. He was desperately trying to build a scientific bridge to explain what seemed impossible. And that brings us to the core theory. How in the world did this report try to justify these incredible claims? Well, it tried to build a kind of unified theory of consciousness, connecting these esoteric practices to, hard science. The absolute key to the whole gateway process was this idea called brain hemisphere synchronization, or Hemi-Sync for short. The theory was, if you could use specific audio frequencies to get the left and right sides of your brain to work in perfect harmony, you could unlock a whole new, much more powerful level of consciousness. To try and ground this in biology, the report uses diagrams like this one, the sensory homunculus. You can think of it as a literal map of how your brain experiences your body. The argument was, hey, if we can stimulate the mind in just the right way, we can create real physical effects. It was all about proving that solid link between your consciousness and your body. The author of the report, he kind of knew he was walking a fine line here between science and something else. He even quotes the famous physicist Niels Bohr, basically saying that to really get this stuff, you need more than just logic. You need, and I quote, a touch of right brain intuitive insight. So, this complex theory wasn't just some philosophical idea. No, it was the foundation for a very practical, step-by-step guide. This was an analysis of an actual training program that was designed to teach people astral travel. These techniques came directly from the Monroe Institute, an organization that studies human consciousness. And this right here is the cover of their Gateway Intermediate Workbook. This was the literal instruction manual for the whole thing, and you gotta notice the restriction at the bottom. This was clearly not meant for just anybody to pick up.
Okay, so the journey itself starts with 3 basic steps. First, you state an affirmation to declare your purpose. Second, you do a specific breathing exercise to basically charge your body with energy. And third, you try to reach something called Focus 10, a state where your body is totally asleep, but your mind is wide awake and alert.
And that first affirmation, wow, it really sets the tone. You're instructed to declare, I am more than my physical body. The whole point is to consciously get your mind ready for what's next, while also kind of putting up a psychic shield against anything you don't want interfering. So once you get to that mind-awake, body-asleep state, the training takes a really sharp turn into the bizarre. The next step is to actually learn how to create and use tools that aren't physical at all. They're made of pure consciousness. The first tool is called the Energy Bar tool. The workbook, which is full of these really dense instructions, teaches you to visualize a bar of bright white light. This imaginary tool is then used to direct non-physical energy, supposedly to strengthen your own energy field or even perceive things far away. Next up is the Resonant Energy Balloon, or REBL. This is basically your personal, non-physical vehicle. You're taught to use your breath and energy to create this swirling bubble of protection around you, which then allows your consciousness to safely float outside your physical body.
And once you master these tools, the things you're supposed to be able to do get even more ambitious. The training talks about creating a living body map for self-healing, using your energy bar for remote viewing, and even a technique called pattern changing, which was designed to let you reshape the circumstances of your own life. Wild. All of these steps, all of these tools, they were all building toward one single ultimate goal: free movement. And that was defined as the complete, controlled ability for your consciousness to separate from your physical body and go explore other realities. I mean, let's just call it what it is. This was a government assessment of astral projection. So, what are we supposed to make of all this? What's the legacy of this declassified report and the really, really strange world that it describes? Now, we have to be super clear about this. This document does not prove that astral travel is real. It's an assessment. Commander McDonald's report simply concluded that the gateway system was plausible within a very specific theoretical framework. It was analyzing a possibility. It never, ever claimed success. And you have to remember the context. This was 1983. The Cold War was at its peak. Intelligence agencies on all sides were exploring every single conceivable advantage, no matter how bizarre it seemed. In a time of psychic spies and remote viewing programs, really nothing was off the table. And that just leaves us with this final kind of haunting question. This report proves that the very institutions that are tasked with shaping and managing our physical world were dedicating serious time and resources to finding a way to escape it. So you have to wonder, why were the architects of our reality trying so hard to find a way out?